So today I have a little bit of something else for today's video. I have more of a opinion discussion kind of video because I do think it is important. We just had the release of Baldur's Gate 3. If you guys don't know what Baldur's Gate 3 is, it's a big RPG from Larian Studios on the PC. You can play it. I've been playing it as well. It's a great game so far that I've played, and a lot of the gaming community is really loving this game. But there is a whole controversy going on at the minute between gamers and developers, and the devs basically saying on social media you shouldn't expect this level of quality from us because it's Rockstar level nonsense, stuff like that. And IGN, one of the biggest journalistic sites on the internet when it comes to gaming, they released a video on YouTube called Baldur's Gate 3 is causing some developers to panic. And this is basically also an opinion video by Destin. He works there at IGN. I've seen the video and he makes some good points on why we should see Baldur's Gate 3 as a golden standard for RPGs, and the fact that it's just very content rich and basically a finished game. He makes a good point, right? The problem is though game development and the problems we have right now with unfinished games, buggy games at launch, stuff like that, it's not really black and white. And I do think IGN's video, even though it raises very good questions and problems we need to solve with the industry, it doesn't really explain well, and it basically targets the devs is like a little bit of a sensational type of video, because the thing is devs don't really get to decide what they do with their game. That's the problem. And Larian Studios is basically led by Sven. He is the director of Baldur's Gate 3, I believe. But he's also a big head in the company and he's a gamer at heart. And so the decisions at Larian Studios get made by a gamer. And the finance go to the right stuff. But a lot of these big companies like Blizzard, Ubisoft, EA, they are run by suits. Big corporations with lots of money. Yeah, sure, that's true. But the decisions are made by the higher ups on when that money gets spent, when a game gets shown. The devs basically really don't have a say in this at all. And I see this narrative going around that it's all the devs their fault and stuff like that from gamers. And we have basically two sides that are right. The gamers are right on being angry that games release unfinished, and then we have the devs basically saying, hey, we don't really get a say in this and we just need to do our work, our boss expects this, and we just do our job. They don't have a big leadership position. And at the end of the day, we should be angry on the basically leadership guys that do decide on when we finish a game. Are you getting extra time? Are you getting extra funding? The conversation is just not that black and white, unfortunately. I wish you could have just a better discussion, an open discussion on the internet. You can ask the question, is IGN then at fault of making such a sensational video? And I believe also yes and no. Because the thing is, the question does have to be raised by gamers. When is it going to get better? Because if we don't do anything, nothing is going to change, unfortunately. So IGN's video, even though it might not be very respectful towards dev, is kind of necessary in a way to get pressure on these companies, right? And that is something I guess developers do have to understand. At the end of the day, we pay a lot of money. We pay $70. The price has been increased for next gen, but we get basically broken games at launch. And somewhere the devs do also have to understand this, you know. But we also have to understand the devs that it's not always up to them. And at the end of the day, we should just all be angry at the higher-ups. That's all where it gets to at the end of the day. The people who do finances, the people who make the decisions at these big companies like Ubisoft, like Activision Blizzard, Bobby Kotick. That's who we should be angry at him. He is the CEO. He gets to make these decisions. Are you angry at the Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption port that Dustin also mentions in his IGN opinion video? You should be angry at Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two. He makes the decisions, and the top of Rockstar, the CEOs from Rockstar, lead directors of these games. You should be angry at them, not the ground workers. Look at this as like a railroad. We need to take the train to get from A to B, but the railroad company is making the train and the railroad, but the railroad is not done because the people who are making the railroad, the devs, they are still busy making the road to get from A to B, you know? And the ones that are financing that railroad are the company heads, the heads on top, the executives that are making the railroad company, right? We should be angry at the executives at the end of the day. But the problem is also game companies aren't learning. And this has been going on for years now. It's not that magically games were better in the past. In the N64 era, there were also bugs and stuff like that. But the problem has been getting worse since the PlayStation 4 era and the Xbox One. And that's just because games are harder to make. That's plain and simple. And it's not helping. This is more towards the devs. It's not helping when we have monetization systems like microtransactions, like NFTs. Let's put NFTs in our video games. Gamers are not waiting for that, I can tell you. If games need to be more expensive to recoup more money, let's say we need more money for development, you can make games more expensive, but gamers also expect then to have a finished product at the end of the day. Now you can say, why do the game developers just not communicate better with leadership? To be fair, I don't work at a gaming company, so I can't tell you, but this whole conversation is kind of just difficult, you know. And Baldurs Gate 3 is a little bit of an outlier. We're not going to lie here. Let's not lie. They did a Kickstarter, so they got a lot of money up front. You shouldn't forget that, right? A lot of companies don't do Kickstarters. So they got a lot of money up front, and they had the time, a long time to develop. And basically, the standards of developing for Baldur's Gate 3 were a lot more different than your usual Assassin's Creed or your usual Call of Duty. So we have this whole fighting war going on right now on the internet. I thought I would just give my opinion a little bit on this. But it is an important conversation, and I do think Baldur's Gate 3 can be a standard for RPG developers. And you do see what the fans want. They want choice and consequence. They want deep gameplay systems. They want content, basically. No microtransactions, stuff like that. And I do think game companies should take note of that. But of course, I do understand the dev side as well of this whole argument. You know, I also give reviews of games on Ace Eyes, and I always say in my review, which is a glorified opinion I want to add, I do say when a game has problems. With my review for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I said, hey, there are frame rate issues. It's a great game on other fronts. Gameplay-wise, it's great. Story-wise, it's really good. And it's one of the best Star Wars games out there. And I still stand with that opinion, even though Jedi Survivor gets shit on because of its technical issues. And maybe gamers are a little bit also entitled sometimes. Let's not forget that. And sometimes we do just need to cherish more when a game comes out, because these games get made by so many people. So much effort is going into that, you know? That's all I want to say for today's video. What is your guys' opinion on the whole Baldur's Gate 3 drama going on right now? I think you should just play the games you like and your values towards them. You know, if Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game to you, support the devs by buying the game and play it, and be maybe a little bit more respectful towards devs that just don't have the position to do anything in, you know. And we should be careful when we talk about these subjects, when we talk about these subjects, when we talk about devs, we mean the guys that are making the game, but the problem is it's the higher ups that make the decisions on money, that make the decisions on when a game gets longer development time, when the decision is to show the game off, you know. We should be angry on them at the end of the day. So that's all I want to tell for you guys in this video. Let me know what's your opinion on this whole Baldur's Gate 3 stuff in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I will continue with more gaming news very soon. If something happens, I will make a video so you will see me. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gaming news, leaks and that type of stuff. And of course, visit my social media in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next Get Rekt gaming news video. Bye bye.